Remember a time when seeing every episode of The Simpsons was a 90s inevitability, and licensed video games were almost guaranteed shovelware? Virtual Springfield remembers. Developed at the peak of Simpsons mania, it's like a mixture of tired reruns and a corrupted copy of Encarta 95. Released in 1997 with no story or endgame in mind, Virtual Springfield's singular goal is to allow fans to finally enjoy a self-directed walking tour of the Simpsons' hometown.
Ay caramba!
While the streets and buildings are fully modelled in 3D, this is a point-and-click game, switching over to 2D sprite animation for more detailed scenes.
Pacemaker off!
The animation is limited but feels familiar, with the entire Simpsons voice cast chiming in with a handful of new and sampled lines, making it feel totally legitimate.
Welcome to Springfield. I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me as town spokesman for such computer travel guides as Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Murfreesboro, and Yuma. It's seniorific.
The game mimics the humour of the show mostly through sight gags and references, of which there are hundreds. From the spruce moose in Mr. Burns' office, a portrait of Homer's mum on the bedside table, to casually passing Truckosaurus at a demolition site, there's a heroic number of callbacks. Though, keep in mind there was a mere 203 episodes at this point, compared to almost 700 now.
Mr. Plow, that's my name, that name again is Mr. Plow. Boy!
Whoa, mama! That was embarrassing. You might as well have a look around.
Getting around the town isn't exactly a walk in the park, however. The endless city blocks don't provide many landmarks to navigate by, you can only look at your map while stationary, and turning 180 isn't an option, so overshoot a destination at your peril. There are 11 buildings you can explore inside, some comprising of many rooms, others a single screen. As a fly-on-the-wall look at The Simpsons, it does a pretty good job, with angles and points of view uncommon in the series itself.
What are you looking at?
Though after a few minutes, once the novelty of being in Springfield runs out, you'd be pressing yourself to visit every location. There's definitely a lot to see, but the only incentive to do so is your own Simpsons-centric curiosity. Satirically or not, it's a painful affair when it comes to gameplay. If anything, Virtual Springfield goes out of its way to highlight the perfunctory nature of its own concept. Because the last thing you'd expect is for this to be boring, right? It's hard to know for sure, but I can easily imagine Matt Groening himself insisting that clicking on Bart's bedroom curtains should cause a slight breeze. This is video game satire of the 90s, baby! Although there are 74 character cards to collect, hidden around the town, providing a sort of progress meter. Finding them all unlocks a 75th card, directing you to a now defunct webpage. Surely a cutting-edge treasure hunt in its day. You will frequently stumble on arcade-style minigames too, but anyone hoping to find a new high-score addiction here would be sorely disappointed. Most last a few seconds, if that. The most notable of the bunch, purely for how well it highlights the changing culture since 1997, is an Apu-themed Doom clone which tasks you with blowing away would-be adolescent shoplifters. Seeing Nelson Muntz and co.'s bloody guts bursting all over the Quickie Mart is some kind of time capsule. I mean, it's not crazy to assume that while lampooning the point-and-click genre, The Simpsons could have provided some mystery solving of its own. Who Shot Mr. Burns had only aired a couple of years prior, and Sideshow Bob's storylines were still pretty ripe at this point as well. Following one or more plot threads through multiple playthroughs would have been great, maybe with the option to play as a different family member each time. However, there is something to be said for the casual nature of the game. It's a zero-pressure experience with a focus on sight gags. Turning off all the sound options might offer an okay podcast companion, but that experience would still have been on hand with or without something deeper to go with it, something that would have helped Virtual Springfield stand the test of time. Instead, you get a look back at a simpler era of The Simpsons before the video game concepts got interesting and the episodes too many to remember.
Don't know if I feel elation or shame by your obvious need to dig deeper into my inner being.
true exploration of Springfield remained a mission statement of the Simpsons games until the mid-noughties, when Road Rage, Hit and Run, and eventually the Simpsons game achieved both the look and freedom of the experience. Though model work created for the virtual Springfield rendition of 742 Evergreen Terrace did lead to the construction of a replica Simpsons house in Henderson, Nevada. It was eventually sold to an unknown buyer and subsequently blurred out on Google Maps. Still, it'd be tough to label Virtual Springfield as a 90s cash grab. While The Simpsons are no stranger to spurious product endorsements, the exhaustive series references and Easter eggs prove a lot of attention went into this, some might say, experimental game. One for the most ardent and patient Simpsons fans only. Thanks for watching Reinstall, and remember to subscribe to PC Gamer.